right there where you,
yeah,
where you skate through?
Yeah, that was the pit.
Like the ledge that's against the wall?
Yeah, I mean, I think that wall is gone, but like this is like, you know, the main, like this thing was there.
So this is the real ground?
Yeah, there it is. Let's stand in that. Wait, is this, I guess?
This looks like a table.
Yeah, this could be like a tabletop right here. So we're standing inside like the old Venice pits where, you know, me and a bunch of people had a bunch of footage and mouse and other videos and stuff. And as you can see, they filled it all in with sand. And they built that little crappy skate park right there. I actually like the quarter pipe, it's pretty fun. I come skate here.
How much of your part was filmed here? Or how much filming did you...
You know, I don't know how much of my part was actually like, you know, minutes in the video here. I mean, I would say kind of more or less was like my prime of like skateboarding. I spent a lot of time in here and like practiced a lot in here and would just come here and just chill and kick it. Like this was like my spot that I would come down to and hang out. Yeah, my last trick in mouse video was there. It was like the switch shove it, crooked grind. And I guess people like used to kind of like trip out on it. They'd be like, why would his last trick be like a ledge trick, you know what I mean? And I think like it was like Rick Howard's maybe idea, just because it was different, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that was my best trick, a ledge trick.
Yeah, it was a good ledge trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a little surprised that his part ended on that trick. I always thought his part was going to end on the switch backside tail slide shove it over the gap to ledge. But I mean, I just think that's kind of a cool thing just to show like how technical he was skating at the time, and his whole part was a banger, you know. So it's kind of hard to be like, well, this is the banger of all bangers, and this is how we're going to go out. When you're just so psyched on the entire part in itself. I mean, from the very beginning, he was getting footage like every single day that we were going out. He was always getting stuff, and I didn't think of it as like, wow, this is going to be like, you know, Guy Mariano's comeback part, you know. I never even thought of it like that. I just realized that he had already, that from the very early phases of filming Mouse, a lot of footage. And so I was like, okay, like he's really doing this, and this is going to be a good thing for him at the end of the day when this video is finally done.
You know, the hardest part about it is like hooking up with like a team and a filmer that you're like building a relationship with. I mean, because if it's not just up to a skater, man, you got to get someone that's going to follow you and battle that whole project with you. Because
yeah, who filmed it?
It was Socrates filmed a lot of. I've always been close with him, and like Tim Dowling. Me and him were just really tight, man. You know what I mean? When you're filming a video and you're going to get serious about it, it's almost like every day you're going to skate. It's like you're calling up the filmer and like, you know, hooking up and like, let's do this.
You really don't know when Guy's going to pull a trick, and what I mean by that is, when you skate with guys and you film with them a lot, you kind of understand their rhythm and the way that they go about doing a trick, you know. And most times guys will start out, except for like a big handrail or something, but they'll start out and they'll try it, and then they'll get a little closer, and then they'll get a little closer, and then you can kind of see it about to happen, and then within like maybe 5 or 6 tries of that point, they land it. With Guy, that is completely thrown out the window. I don't think you realize when you're watching on videos, he's skating so fast, and I never felt like I was able ever to do him justice to kind of show like how fast he was skating. Like for example, early on in his mouse part, when he does the line at San Pedro, you know, he does like a nose grind across a bench, a heel flip, and then he starts hauling ass to tail slide on top of the fence. I mean, I have a filmer board with big wheels, and I could barely keep up with him, you know, to keep up with him going towards the fence, you know, and he's just skating so quickly. So, you know, I was really, really struggling to stay right next to him.
You know, like, for the people that, like, hung around me and know me, like, didn't really view it too much as a comeback. They just thought, like, okay, great, like, he put it out there for everyone to see. But for people that probably just know me from seeing me in, like, magazines and, like, videos, they probably felt it was more of a comeback. But it was something special to me because, you know, I actually put myself out there.
I don't know how many times I've watched that video part. that mouse part. I couldn't even fucking like 1,000. I mean, it was only like probably 2 years ago. I still watch it every time before I would go skate. You know, and that video is like, it's 10 years old now. I mean, the footage is probably actually like 12 years old. You know, and there's no other video I've watched that much. One part. I mean, fuck. I don't think I'd be skating anymore if it wasn't for that, what he did. I'd skate nothing like the dude, but there's similar, like I've definitely like followed maybe some of his, tried to follow some of his, the things that he did do, you know what I mean? And like, around that time's when he kind of, to me, it changed the directions that you can skate. And I guess there's a lot of people doing other things, but for some reason, when he did it, it really made sense to me, and it looked right.
Well, when I watched that video too, it took me a long time to even figure out what tricks were switched. And I always watch things and I always like assume everything's like regular stance, especially back then. You know, I'm watching
right.
And then like doesn't he do like a like a wally grind on like a big round bar and it's switched?
Yeah, he does like it's exactly this big fat white bar and it's connected to the ground. He does a wall and it's switch backside 50-50 across it. I think even the switch backside 50-50 down the handrail in downtown, you know, the famous like 6th Street rail, you know, rail. I mean, he did that so long ago and he's going so fast and he goes by so quickly. And you're just like, wow, that was a switch backside 50-50 down a rail. Like, you know, you just kind of have to stop and think and like look at everything he does and look at it again to actually kind of like be able to digest it and see like how good it is, because you'll just pull it out so fast. It's funny, man, like when we were at the premiere for it, you know, and like I'd actually kind of forgotten about Guy's part. And when I first heard like the beginning notes of the music, you know, do it, you know, when that came on, I got just so excited because I completely forgot about it. And as I was watching his whole part, it was almost like it wasn't like the stuff I had shot, you know, it was like being able to watch it again and just really sit back and enjoy what he had gone out and accomplished, you know, and you can't take anything away from that.